shifting into powerful beliefs. After the last training, I've started to create this training, and I had one intention before creating the training, and then it came to me that I told some stories around the beliefs yesterday and how we got them, but I really want to help you as much as possible to understand, not only from what I'm saying, but also from science and what we know today, how our beliefs are created, how powerful they are for us. And so what I decided to do is actually that this will be 2 trainings. So the first one here we go through shifting into powerful beliefs, and then there will be exercises, and I will do those in a video for itself that covers the changing of beliefs. I hope this makes sense. I'm so excited and actually pumped up, because I know you got your dream life created. I know how powerful what I'm sharing with you is. So what we will cover: beliefs are installed early, beliefs shape our reality, making beliefs real, shifting beliefs to powerful methods. A warning: this is the most important video in the entire course. Watch the entire video, don't skip, don't fast forward. Pro tip: watch the video in 2 times speed. Beliefs are installed early. As I mentioned, we have touched this before in the video you saw, or the training you saw before this. This is more like facts and science based. Neuroscience and early programming. I looked this up and I will share some links with you here after. 95% of our beliefs are formed by the age of 7. As the brain operates in a theta state, it's like a hypnosis-like absorption. I called it a sponge, like we're just taking everything in. And I'll share something on the next slide around this. So it's very important to understand that even though as adults, and even though at my age, soon 53 years old, I think that I know what's going on, but most of my beliefs and your beliefs are formed when you turned 7 years old. Another very important thing about beliefs: parental and environmental influence. Core beliefs are shaped by parents, culture, and early experiences, often without conscious choice. And I created a document for this. We're going to go through this in a moment. So we talked about this in the earlier training. I just really want to hammer it for you. And when we get to the exercises where you will begin to shift your beliefs, you will see, I shared some from me and my clients, some experiences and the stories from us, and how we shaped some of our beliefs and became aware of them in our early age. Mostly it's by parents, because those are the people that we are closest with and to, and especially when we are very young. But for some people, let's say they were very much with a grandfather or grandmother, or with the neighbor, or maybe even in some kind of kinder care. I know this is very different from culture to culture, but here in my country at least, it's in a very early age. There are environments where babies are when mom and dad are working. So we have people who influence us, and as I shared in the earlier training, it's very important to understand that many people did not do the work that you are doing now, which means that they have core beliefs from their parents and their culture, and how the whole world was when they were kids. So this goes from generation to generation to generation. So this is also very important to have in mind. So parents bring on their insecurities and their beliefs and are not conscious about it to their kids. Their kids shape beliefs from that and bring that on in their reality, and many of their beliefs will be brought on to their kids too. And then we have the cultural thing and the religious thing and things like that. You are watching this now, you are shifting, you are into personal development, you are into manifesting a dream life, and to do that, as I mentioned in the earlier video, you will also shift your identity in a positive way. So that's one of the things, and that's why I mentioned again and again that one of my core things for many years in my life has been to do my best to help and support and love my daughter. And I have been very intentional about this, making decisions, so I did my best to support her. And we all have that. As you read this, and this comes from my heart, we all have that, first of all, possibility, but as we learn these things, also responsibility to be very aware of what we bring on to especially kids, because what we bring on to kids, as I mentioned, and as you see here, can be very important developing their future, which has some part of, it has an impact on the way that the world will be in the future. So for me, this is a very, very important and powerful thing. Then we have emotional imprints and trauma. I also talked a little bit about this, but early emotional experiences create deep subconscious patterns that dictate future behaviors. There's a document for this too. So I talked about being in the womb. I talked about very early experiences. And this is, again, we are in a hypnosis-like absorption sponge thing when we are very small kids. We have no clue how to, all the data we get in, all the experiences we get, we have no clue how to, what's right or wrong and anything. It's just happening. And when we bring the emotional experience into this will be it's very important for me that we will go from this into the mindset part of it, and I will help you to find, you already did an exercise, I will help you to find the mindset limiting beliefs that's limiting for you to jump into the dream life you want to manifest. The second part of this, which comes in another training, is the emotional experiences. I touched on that too, but how, from my experience, I know from how it felt for me, and I've helped clients with this deep work too, these deep subconscious patterns that's really in our nerve system, they dictate our future behaviors. I went through a lot of things, but just for me to point out what I mean with this right now, in the early age where I've been laughed at by when I actually shared what was on my heart, when I sang, when I played the piano, there was an experience that I had that really was too much for my, too big an emotional experience for my nerve system. And it was trapped in my system, and there's still like pieces of this left. So whenever I wanted to share what's on my heart, maybe you know how this feels, my body locked down. My brain locked down. I all the things that I shared yesterday, I got red in my face, I couldn't really speak, and my throat tightened, and I felt my heart, and I even got sweaty and things like that. So my body reacted because my mind was still trapped in that emotional experience. I was about stepping out and performing, and everything inside of me said, don't do this, because it was trapped in that very early age experience that was too much for my system to handle, which means that everything subconsciously in me said, don't go there, it's gonna hurt. So even though as an adult, going on stage, or I'm an actor today also, or going in front of the camera, I wrote a post about this on Facebook not long ago. Even today, I experience things coming up in my physical body here. So, and I'll share with you in other trainings what to do about this. But it's just important to let you know that when these things happen, because for some it's very emotional. So you want to step into your dream life. We got a wall, or we got the gap. For you, it might be, and it might be in some areas, that you've had an emotional experience that was too much for you to handle in a very early age. And it could be that you want to go on stage. It could be that you want to do your own podcast or YouTube series or things like that. But every time that you try to do this, it feels like your whole body is just, you're getting nervous, you're getting full of fear, you're reacting, you're getting hot, you're sweating, all of these things. It's just so important to understand that this is from an early emotional experience. It's in the system, and the system is reacting because the system is afraid of you going into another experience, as you did when you were 3 years old, another experience where this gets too much to handle. And the system doesn't know that you are now 40 or 50 or 35 or 72, whatever your age is. The system doesn't know. It's just trapped in that emotional experience. I hope this makes sense. Then we got neuroplasticity and change. This is a very important thing. And luckily, and I'm not saying it's easy, but it's simple. And I'm going to show you a very, very simple exercise, how to shift your whole reality. Science shows the brain can rewire beliefs at any age through repetition. I spoke about that. We're going to do much more about that in the modules. Visualization and emotional shifts. And we're going to dive into this in the emotion. So it's just very important. We are lucky. We can actually change our brain. We can create new patterns. And from that, we can create a new reality. And that's exactly what this whole training is about. So here are some of the things that I mentioned before we move on. So this is just some different links, and I'll share more with you. But around this, that we actually, between we are born and even before, until the age of 7, most of our experience is actually created there. We got the beliefs installed. And let me just see if I can do like this and like this, and I'll find this. Let's see here, early emotional. Yeah. So I promised also a document. If you watch this on YouTube, this is a free training. It's available on YouTube, and you will not, I'll show you the document here, documents, but you will not see, we got 2 documents actually, here it is with the links. You will not, you can see the document on my screen, but if you are in the free community, in the manifesting community, there will be a document below the video. So you can, if you want to go through all of this, if you want to look up the links, maybe for your own sake, but also for your kids or grandkids' sake, I'll make sure that the document is below the video in the free manifestation training. If you want to be part of that community, and it is free, then I'll make sure there's a link below the video on YouTube. So again, it's just to help understand, because sometimes when I hear something, I'm like, that's a little woo-woo. Is this actually right? So I just took a lot of links and what I just spoke about in early ages, and I put this in here. So that was one document. And here's another document with a lot of like points that drives the point home that I just shared. Early emotions shape identity. These are from different science-based articles and things like that, but I just took the words out. Childhood emotional experiences program deep subconscious beliefs. Subconscious patterns run automatically. Emotional responses formed early influence decisions for life. And I'm going to share more about these things in the module. Maybe in module 1, that's the free module, or maybe in the paid community, because there's so much that I want to share with you so you can manifest your dream life. Fear, rejection, and shame embed deeply. Unprocessed emotions create self-doubt and limitations. Again, my example from childhood, the example with the client of mine who fell, who was out of balance in a very early age and got laughed at. And nobody helped process those emotions. So they're unprocessed, what I call trapped energy or trapped emotions. It's in there and it keeps running in the program. So repetition strengthens neural pathways. The more an emotional experience repeats, the stronger it gets. And I'm going to share a drawing, not in this one, but in another training around this. But it's very important. Like I mentioned, for me, I got laughed at. The client that got laughed at because he fell, it was a very big emotional experience. And even though it's something that we don't want, it's part of the programming. And if we're not very conscious like you are now, if you're in the free community, after the dream life meditation and those trainings, and you can consciously decide, this is my new life. But before we begin to go into all of this, these pathways, they keep repeating themselves. And the more that they do that, the stronger they become. So if we experience something in an early age that really was an emotional experience for us and something that we didn't like, something that's limiting compared to what we want now, fact is that it keeps repeating itself. Like I mentioned, the Groundhog Day movie or the hamster wheel, it's just like it keeps repeating itself. I keep experiencing the same thing around money or around love until we release these emotional experiences. Emotional imprints affect self-worth. Positive or negative experiences shape confidence and success mindset. Again, this means that if we had some, and most people do, for some it's very hidden and maybe for some reason it's not really playing out, but most people, and I'm not sure if this makes you happy or not, but for most people there is an emotional imprint that affects our life experience. And some of the things that I mentioned, I've been a leader for 20 years, then I started my own company and I really forced myself to do a lot of things. But I was not confident as a kid. I had some very bad experiences and I didn't know consciously how to do this. So I went through a lot of bad stuff, as I mentioned in earlier videos, gangster lifestyle and too much alcohol and drugs and all of these things in a young age. All of that shaped from negative experiences in my childhood. Triggers are echoes of the past. I've said this. And again, this document will be, so you can just download the document, you can make a copy of it, whatever you want. It will be below the training in the free community, the manifestation free community. And again, there's a link below the video if you're on YouTube. And the thing here is that emotional reactions today often stem from unresolved childhood patterns. That's what I just mentioned before. Me going on stage, I could really, and I didn't know, I knew a little bit about these things, but not what I know now. I didn't know how, I would even say crazy it is that we trigger something from some experience that we have in our reality. Something deep inside of us get triggered by this, because it's like a red light saying, whoa, 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 there's some danger here, even though it's not dangerous anymore, but from the childhood experience, childhood patterns, the unresolved things. And this is what we're stepping into, resolving and changing and shifting now. Part one of this is the mindset thing, and part two will be the emotional thing in the next trainings. Breaking patterns starts with awareness. I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again and again. And when we come into the mind shift and also the emotional release part, it will become even more clear for you that recognizing subconscious emotional conditioning is key to transformation, and also mindset, subconscious conditioning. And I'll show you very soon how to do this. Rewiring happens through new experiences. Very important. So shifting beliefs and emotions creates new subconscious programming. And again, remember what I said, that we know today that we can rewire our brain. So it's not that it, even though it's been there for me, maybe it's 50 years ago that I experienced something and it's been running through my life. But lucky you and me, happy you and me, we can rewire this. And again, let me see, where was it? Yeah, we can shift our beliefs. We're going to do that. We can shift our emotions, and we're going to do that too. Healing old wounds unlocks potential. Releasing past emotional blocks opens the door to manifestation. I cannot tell you how powerful this is. It's something that you will have to, if you want to, if you're in the free group. I put so much effort in the free group here because I really want as many people as possible to experience this shift, mindset shift, which will shift your reality. But, and I call this on a deeper level, the emotional release. Because it's not only the door to manifestation, but from my own experience and clients that I've helped with this on a deeper level, it's opened the door to freedom. Freedom, joy, happiness, love in a way that we didn't experience it before. I shared this before, but I'm going to share this again right now. These deep healing of old wounds, how I unlocked this in myself, how I experienced this and released, and I'm going to share with you how I did it, but it came after my narcissistic experience. So I will also talk more about this later, but the very important thing for me right now when we speak about manifestation is to, as I see it, to understand when we have these experiences in our life that feels like hell when we experience it. That was how it felt when I was in my bankruptcy period, and it was even worse when I was in my narcissistic relationship, the end of it and the recovery in it. It was the darkest period of my life. And when we experience this, maybe you are in a dark period of your life when you see this training. The thing is that from that darkness, from my experience, each time that we hit a wall or a gap, like I said earlier, it's a test. It's kind of like it's a door, and we have the possibility, you have the possibility when you are in that period of your life to figure out, and you got this training here that will help you so much to figure out how to open the door and step into a new reality. This is exactly what we're doing. And I know this is not a TikTok quick version, like do this in 1 second and everything changes, because I haven't experienced that. And I worked with thousands of people. I helped plus 100 very high level entrepreneurs with their mind shifts change, business strategies. Yes, that's a little part of it. And then the emotional release. Mindset and emotional release. Those two things make other people expand in magical ways. Not from a TikTok video, but from doing the work. And that's exactly what we are going into here. One more important thing from this document, again, it will be below the training if you are in the free community. Your past does not have to define your future. You can consciously reprogram your emotions and beliefs at any time. And that's exactly what we are leading up to now. Just important for me. I really want you to understand this. And let's see if we can continue. I'm getting better at the techniques here. So, beliefs shape our reality. Perception filters reality. We see the world through the lens of our beliefs, shaping our experiences. We see the world through the lens of our beliefs, shaping our experiences. What we believe to be true influences our actions and results. And there's a formula for this, and I'm gonna share it probably in module 1. It's a very powerful formula how the results, where you are right now, how you created that reality. And when we understand that formula, what we're doing now is like the foundation, but with that, it's with the understanding of that and doing the right things, it's much more easier and effortlessly to step into your dream life. Energy and attraction. Our beliefs emit a frequency that attracts matching experiences. This is the law of attraction. And for many people, me included in many years, I thought this was kind of like woo-woo thing. And what I really wanted, I have to take care so I don't go too deep into this, but the big thing for me was, as I mentioned, I sat 2 years, something like that, on a beach, and it wasn't 2 years, but it was a long time, and I just wanted to attract money into my life, and I've read about the law of attraction, and let's see if I can manifest. I just sat there and meditated, and I felt better because my nerve system calmed down, but I didn't get the money. And the very important thing here is, from my experience, we can't be lucky. I shared in another video what the rock says about manifestation. It says like, okay, I know what I want and I go after it. It's like the universe meets me halfway. That's how I experience it too. But I also do know that we get more and more clever. And as I speak right now, I've seen newly updated things from some of the biggest computer and AI and technical companies about quantum computing. I only mention this because there's a whole new reality opening for us, and it seems to be now, in a very few years from now on, that experts believe that we will see quantum computing. And there's a lot with frequencies. There's a lot with opening up new portals, and there's a lot of things that can be very difficult for our brain to understand as it is right now. I am just opening you up to, and we will go more into these things in module 1, to the fact that, again, if you have a lot of negativity inside of you or fear trapped inside of you from early stage in your life, as I did, it will be there and pulse that energy out in the universe. So when we experience something that makes us very sad or nervous or afraid, like, whoa, why is this happening to me all the time? It's because there's something inside that's putting those things out, and the universe mirrors that. What I experienced was when I released those trapped experiences, those trapped emotions, I did not have the universe reflecting. Maybe I saw something, but I was not really seeing it anymore. I didn't feel any reactions to it because I released those emotions. So the higher energy we are in, and this is not from here, this is more something in the body, something deep in our subconscious. The higher energy we're in, we're going to dive more into this in module 1, the higher energy we are in and you are in, the better thing you will attract in your life. And then we've got something here, limits versus expansion. Limiting beliefs create blocks, like the wall and the gap, while empowering beliefs open doors to possibilities. Just another way of saying what I've said during this and the last training. So, and this is not something, I just want a limiting belief. Remember, it's in us. It's something that is installed, or we took it in a very early age. So you're here right now. I'm going to say this again and again and again. This is your dream life. So we got limiting beliefs that keeps us on here. We got the wall or the gap. But when we shift those limiting beliefs into supporting, empowering, powerful beliefs that's aligned with the reality that you want, you will experience that your life will match that person you are when you've shifted your beliefs. And again, also if there's trapped emotion or energy or traumas that needs to be healed. All right, making beliefs real. This one, you probably heard this a lot of times, but the blue car phenomenon, or yellow or red or whatever. But ever noticed when you start thinking about buying a specific car, something else, suddenly you see it everywhere. And it's not that more exists, it's that your mind is tuned into it. This is how beliefs shape reality. It's more than that, and it's also something that our brain creates, and how our brain creates our reality, and it's only an illusion, all of this. I'm going to dive much more into this in the modules, but the very powerful thing here is that this is how it is. Something inside of us that we really believe in, it's gonna be like, it's actually like in a movie, the cinema, there's this projector that's just projecting light out, and we see it on the movie screen. That's one of the best pictures that I had. How is my reality created? The projector that is showing the movie on the screen is the movie of your life. It's your reality. The projector that shows the movie, it's inside of you. It's in the subconscious, in those beliefs, the limiting and positive beliefs, and the trapped emotion. It's just showing your reality on that screen. So it's not on the screen that you have to change anything at all. Imagine yourself going out when you don't like the character on the screen, and you go up in the middle of a movie in the cinema, and in front of 1,000 people, you go up and try to erase that character or change the character. No, you would go back into the projector if you really wanted to change this. But then you would also even go further back, and you would be the one who is writing the script. You would be the one who is choosing the character. You would be the instructor who is instructing the character. And now I went a little sideway again, because I'm going to dive into these things later on. It's just so important to understand. The I'm not good enough trap. If someone believes they are unworthy, they subconsciously self-sabotage. They might not apply for jobs, avoid relationships, or shrink back from opportunities. Their reality reflects their belief. This is, I know from studies and also from the people I worked with, many people deep down in our core beliefs, we have, I am not worthy. And it's not like it's in our forehead, it's not like it's in a book and in a manual and it says on page 1, Michael, you're not worthy, or Suzanne, if that's you, you're not worthy. It's not like that. It's hidden in there. And again, opportunities, things that are waiting for you in your dream life. As I said, maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to become a famous actor. Maybe you want to be on stages. Maybe you want to grow your company 10 times. Whatever it is. If somewhere deep inside there's something I am unworthy, that will manipulate it all the time so you end up in the same situation. I shared about my relationship. I shared about how I ended up in stopping or how to say that, or destroying relationship because deep down inside I thought I was not worthy of love. I thought I was not worthy, right? Money example. 2 people walking down the street. Someone raised with the belief money is hard to make may unconsciously reject high-paying opportunities, stay in a low-income job, or feel guilty about financial success. The other person who believes money flows easily finds new opportunities everywhere. I've experienced this. I want to give you this example. 2 people are walking down the street, one with a limiting belief, one with an empowering belief. They walk down the street. Let's say they walk for 300 meters. And then, you can do this by yourself, then just write down what they saw, what happened to them. And if they are in a mindset and they are focused around money, they speak around money, one person might be focusing on not being able to pay the bills within the next couple of weeks. I tried this too. I know how frustrating and stressing this is. And also there might be trapped energy around this. That person who's focused on that might see a window where it says we are closed because we're out of business, might get an email that there's a new bill to be paid, might get an email from the boss that they have to cut down the salary. A lot of negative things because that's the limiting belief inside that person. The person walking just beside them with a positive, empowering, powerful belief around money, the same person walking the same couple of 100 meters might see, wow, there's a Porsche. I want to buy a Porsche. That's my next car. Oh, this business is booming. There's a queue outside of it. Might get an email. You just received like $1,000 for blah, blah, blah. Wow, how lucky am I? I am just a money magnet. And the other person is going and saying, damn, there's no money anywhere. Everybody's out of business. Money don't want anything in my life. It's hard to make money. And then the positive, empowered person is saying, dang, there's $100 in the street here. Woo, I'm a money magnet. 2 people walking just beside each other with 2 different beliefs installed deep inside of them. And this is how it is. Maybe you are one of these persons. Maybe you know the other kind of people here. So when we know this and we know how to do this, what we're leading into, you will have the possibility to become that person who is lucky in a relationship, who is lucky in money and business, who finds opportunities all the time, and it's passion coming out of me now. Famous quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right, from Henry Ford. And this is not something just like, okay, I want to put this in. We have to do the right things to really believe it in our core being and understand it and believe it. All right? Athlete and performance examples. Studies shows that visualizing success can boost actual performance. Olympic athletes doing mental training to program winning before they compete. This is something I'm gonna share more about visualization later on, but this is something that has been proven again and again and again. Visualizing, our brain doesn't really know the difference. That's what science says, between what's actual and if we are good at visualizing. And visualizing can also be how we feel. We're going to dive more into this. I'm just saying it right now that making beliefs real visualizing is a big thing here, and it can also help us to change the patterns in our brain, path in our brain. All right. We do not see things as they are, we see them as we are. Anais Nin. All of what I've shared so far is just what Anais says here. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. We see them from our beliefs. We create our reality from our beliefs. All right, shifting beliefs. 2 powerful methods. So I'm just gonna cover the 2 things now, and then in the next training we'll go through them, the documents that I created, the exercises. It's so powerful. Part 1, rewriting your reality. Our beliefs act like filters, shaping how we interpret and experience life. Change the filter, change the projector, and you change what's possible. So I'll share the exercise with you in the next training. There's a document, if you are in the free community, there's a document so you can just print that out and you have it, or how you want to do it. But I'm going to share it, and the document is below the video. And the same thing with the next one. This is rewriting your reality part 2. The beliefs we hold consciously or subconsciously drive our decisions, actions, and outcomes. When we shift beliefs, we shift reality. And that's exactly what we are going to do. Shifting your reality. The things that's limiting you to step into your dream reality, dream life. I will share with you a powerful method how to shift, and the actual rewriting. So we'll go through in the next training. There's also a document number 3 for this. Again, this is in the Manifestation Masterclass free, and there's a link below the video if you're watching on YouTube. So, summary, this is what we went through. Beliefs are installed early. Beliefs shape our reality. Making beliefs real. Shifting beliefs, the 2 powerful methods, and let's go to work. See you in the next training.